When it comes to gambling, it's all about the numbers. What are those numbers? This is BTC Gambler, and today we're going to be talking about risks, chance, probabilities. I see my role in life is very simple. I learn and then I teach. But fundamentally, one of my key objectives is if you're going to gamble, my job is to turn you into educated gamblers. If I had a choice, I'd say none of you gamble. But I'm never going to stop that. So the very least I can do is to turn you into educated gamblers. For those that know will know what you're looking at right now is my platform called Alphaverse. Alphaverse is a bit like an open framework. It's designed to run stake original games, and it can do it on a scale that is impossible any other way. You can see right now I'm doing over 2 million bets per hour up here, and I'm running loads of bots to achieve that level of throughput. But Alphaverse is just an open platform. If you think it, you can code it, and if you can code it, you can run it on Alphaverse. And that's what today's all about. We're going to first talk about the risks. Secondly, we're going to talk about the odds and the probabilities. Wouldn't it be nice if you could play the casino where you are dictating the odds, not the casino? You are setting your own level of risk tolerance. Let me explain. Whenever I'm gambling, everything I do always starts in Excel. I fundamentally choose my odds that I'm throwing back at the casino. So for example here, if you're coding, you can bet in ways that you cannot play on the website. Okay, so one of the things that you can do when you're playing on with bots is the ability to bet on dice, for example, at 99% win chance. That's not technically possible to do that if you're playing on the website. But if you're running using a bot, you can code that. When you win, you don't win anything. It's just even. So it's a brilliant strategy just to wager as much as possible to play dice at 99% win chance. And this spreadsheet here calculates the odds and the probability of, for example, losing twice in a row, losing 3 times in a row, losing 4 times in a row. You get it. So if you can devise a strategy where you can say, well, actually, I will dictate what my risk is, and I will throw back the odds at the casino, and I do it that way. And I do it in a way that doesn't expose me financially to a great deal of risk. So start at the very basic. If we played a 99% win chance, so we know that 1 in 100 will lose, on average, over a long statistical period. Now the chances of you hitting 2 losses in a row, so that is you bet a 99% win chance, you lose, and then you lose again, is a 1 in a 10,000 chance. And the chance of you losing and losing and losing again is a 1 in a million chance. And the chance of you hitting 4 losses in a row is 1 in 100 million chance to 1. And the chance of you hitting 5 losses in a row, well, that's 1 in 10 billion chance to 1. And chance of you hitting 6 in a row is 1,000 trillion to 1 chance. You get the gist. Let's go back to Alphaverse. Like I said, if you can think it and you can code it, you can play it. It's a framework. It's just an open framework limited by your own imagination. So I'm running some code here that's betting at 99% win chance. It's betting 0. It's betting nothing until it hits 3 losses in a row, and then it goes in with a large bet. And I know that the chance of that happening, if it was to hit 4 losses in a row, is 100 million to 1 chance. That's my level of risk that I'm willing to take. So I've been experimenting with this code, and one of the things just I love about Alphaverse is the fact that you can play around with these ideas and concepts. So I've got 160 bots here just ploughing away, doing 0 bets, looking for 3 losses in a row, and then it goes in quite hard with a heavy bet with the expectation I'm going to win that bet. And the chances of me losing that 4th bet in a row is 100 million to 1. I'm willing to take that risk. I started this bankroll with 500 TRX. I've now got up to 3,142 over a few days. And the way I got paid was simply via the VIP perks. You get paid once you got your accounts to a VIP level. You get your weeklies and you get your rate back, and so every time you wager something, you get something back, and that's fundamentally how this code has been designed to run. You probably heard me saying many times, don't play to win, don't play to lose either, just play to wager, and then you get paid via the VIP perks. I think that's the safest form of gambling that you can possibly do. So provided I'm not going crazy here, like I'm on the third loss in a row and I put in a really high bet. I know the odds is 100 million to 1, but that 100 million one could happen. In realistic terms, every single time that virtual dice is rolled, it's a 1 in 100 chance. Well, technically it's 1 in 99 chance that one is going to fail. And it can't realistically be seen as a sequential event. The previous bet has no connection to the next bet. They are independent events. So what we're really talking about is probabilities, and it's probabilities. The probability of you hitting 4 losses in a row is 100 to million to 1 chance. But hey, when you're doing 2 million bets per hour, suddenly that is a true realistic possibility. So let me show you the code. But I don't want it to scare you, because one of the things, like I said, this platform, if you can think it, you can code it, you can play it. And one of the challenges I had with coming up with this code in the first place is the way that Alphaverse works, and it detects a bust. There's a file that's called a client config, and in that client config you set a value to say, what's my bust threshold? What that fundamentally means is that figure is when your balance gets below that is when Alphaverse detects a bust. So if you start off with a balance of 0 and you're doing 0 betting, there is literally no way for it to bust. But like I said, if you can code it, you can think it, you can apply it to Alphaverse. I could programmatically say, on the event, a loss streak of -3, I could change that file. I could change the client config file to say my bust threshold is like 10,000, which means it's going to guarantee to report a bust. So that's exactly what I've done. And hopefully you'll see one here. I'll try to capture one. So the code is written. Here's one here, right on cue. So what it would do, it would be reported -3. There it is. That will then report bust, and the only reason it reports bust is because I've changed the code. It does it automatically. It will report a bust, and it will automatically deposit 500 TRX, and it will do a 500 TRX bet on the next bet. You'll see that come through in a moment. And then once that's successful, it then unbusts the bot. So it does a reversal of that. It changes the client config back to say that the bust threshold is back to -1. So basically it never busts. Here's the 500 come in. On order for it to pick up the new balance, boom, it's fixed. And you can see the profit is still 0. And that would have then put that in the vault. Yeah. All automated. If you can think it, you can code it. And in that process, just betting 0, looking for 3 losses in a row. I've wagered 103,000 TRX, and I'll just leave this running. I will leave it running. I expect I'm going to hit the occasional. Very rarely I'm going to lose like a 500 TRX. But given the money that we get back as VIP perks, that would more than compensate for all this. But I suppose at this stage it's evidence that you need. Running strategies like this is easy. It's very easy. And the key question is it worth it? So that's what this video is all about. I'll briefly show you the code. Right, I'll bring the code up here, but I don't want to put it off some people, because some people get really sort of scared of the code, and it's not for everybody, and I totally get that. But I just want to show you some of the functions. So the actual do bet function for the game is quite small. basically it's just here and here. We're basically saying if you're familiar with coding with systems like Qbot or Dicebot, you'd be very familiar with this sort of concept. It's all JavaScript, and we're basically saying if it's a win, just count the wins. Next bet is 0. A next one is just a catch-all to basically say if there's a win and the balance is greater than the recovery amount, which I won't go into this detail, it fundamentally knows that it's got a balance that it needs to put in its vault, and it needs to set the next bet back to 0. Does that make sense? So this is like a catch-all. And then if we say in here simply if the current streak exactly equals -3, we call a bot, we call some code that's going to crash the bot. And on a win, we're going to call a code that uncrashes the bot. Now all of this is on Alphaverse. Alphaverse is open source. I'll put a link to the GitHub repository here. And installation instructions are here. There's a tutorial video how to set it up. And yeah, it's detailed instructions how to set it up. If you want to play around and do it yourself, there are loads of videos. And obviously we've got a Discord server as well, which would be in the link to the description as well. You're more than welcome to join us. So I'll keep this running for the next few days, and I'll keep you posted with updates. And yeah, you can see the sorts of profits that you could make from this. You know, it's not going to be earth-shattering, exciting. It's not going to be huge amounts of money. It's free money. Take it. Right. I'll be in touch very soon. Okay, I'm back. So a day has passed. It's all been relatively boring. But boring is good. Boring is really good when you're playing this sort of strategy. Right, the monthlies come out. So you can watch me. You can see that the profit is 0. And I've got some scripts that I'm going to run. And I'm just going to collect these. So you can watch me. But this would go by in seconds for you. But this takes me a little while. But I've got a script that collects all the monthly bonuses across all accounts, and then we come back to see what that made. This won't be the conclusion of the video, because then we've got the weekly to collect as well, and it'll give you an indication the sort of funds that you can make by playing not to win, not to lose, but just to get the VIP perks, and that's fundamentally what I want to show you. Let me collect this and I'll bring you back. Okay, that's done. Let's see what that made. Not bad, guys. Not bad. Free money. $1,170. But I'm not done yet. I am not done yet. I can claim the rate back as well. Let me reset the profit. Keep an eye on the profit there. You could see that gradually grow. I'm going to claim the rate back on all of the accounts. Bear with me. Okay, that's done. Remember what I said before, if you can script it, you can code it, you can run it on Alphaverse. You know, that made $157 free money. And this is about squeezing as much as we can out of the VIP perks. When you're running a strategy like this, you take every single free cent that you get for nothing. So I started this strategy around about 5 days ago, 5 days, 16 hours ago, with just a mere 500 TRX balance. That would have been $132. In less than a week, I've turned up 500 into 8,165. But we're not done yet. We are not done yet. My next job is to collect the weekly. Then that will give you some sort of clearer indication of what a strategy like this will produce. Remember, the bonuses are going to be your weeklies, your monthlies, your post-monthly, your rate backs. Take full advantage of that. So I've wagered 125,000 TRX at no cost. I've turned 500 TRX into 8,165, and we're not done yet. And we're not done. But before this video is over, the key thing here is I run Alphaverse 24/7, 7 days a week. It creates a residual income for me on the side. You know, it makes a few thousand per month. But I run what I want to run. I don't want to tell people what to run. Okay, it's an open platform. You know, you can come up with ideas and strategies and test them. You know, code like this that simulates the game. It 100% matches through what the casino does. It's fully provably fair, exactly, and you can use the casino's provably fair system to check the results from the simulation as you can on the real gambling. So you know it's going to be basically identical to the real game. And if you can transact over 500,000 bets per second, man, you can test any idea. Right, I'll bring you back on Saturday when we collect the weekly. I'm back. So it's been a few days. It's been very boring. Boring is good, okay? I'm on my 9th day. I've wagered close to 250,000 TRX at no cost. And we're at that stage again. Today is Saturday, and I'm going to collect the weekly. So you can watch me do this, but it'd be very quick for you. I'll be back. Okay, let's have a look. It's okay. It wasn't brilliant. I was expecting a bit more, to be honest with you. It's made $525 or 1,949 additional TRX. I need to think about that because that's quite low actually. I was expecting around about $800. I noticed some of the accounts, yeah, they paid out very little. But I suppose there's a number of accounts where basically they didn't wager anything, and some quite low. I suppose that's to be expected. I'm going to rethink this strategy, but I've done okay. I have done pretty well actually. Bear in mind, I started this with 500 TRX. It's now at 10,000. Okay, that was 9 days, 18 hours ago. Now I think that's pretty good going, personally. Wagering. Not trying to beat the casino, not trying to win, not trying to lose, just getting the VIP perks. Bit disappointed this week. I may need to relook at the figures. Maybe this isn't the best strategy. You know, I don't recommend people follow what I do. You know, think of, as I said before, you know, Alphaverse is just a platform. If you've got an idea, and if you can think it, you can code it. And if you can code it, you can play it on Alphaverse. It's like an open framework. Right, I'm going to think about this and I'll be back, okay? Because I'm going to try something new. And I've got a few ideas I want to show you how I do that. I'll be back. Hey guys, a few days have passed. I actually didn't make any changes, but what I have done I want to show you. I've tidied up the code. I've created a simulation. And before this video goes live, I will put this code here in Discord under community codes. Play with it. I was a little bit apprehensive to release this video because I think it may raise a few eyebrows. You know, I do things in the background that probably I shouldn't make public, but I suppose you have a right to know. So my main objective right now is just really to draw a conclusion to this video. If I can inspire just one person to innovate, to come up with new ideas, test them, try them out, use the simulation code. I brought the simulation code up here. Please just play around with it. And the only difference you're going to see between the version I've got here is this training video link will be in the description. So fundamentally what it's doing, it's betting a 99% win chance, 0 betting until it finds 3 losses in a row, and then it goes in big. It does a big bet. Okay, so I've got this variable defined and it's set to 500. Now that's based on the fact that I'm using TRX, and now you adjust that accordingly. And basically we can run some tests on this. Okay, here's the simulation code. So it's the same as the production code. So basically saying it's betting 0 at 99% win chance, and then when it gets 3 losses it runs this big bet here, 500. So we can basically run it. And if you wanted to run simulation, if we scroll down a little bit, we can simulate the length of time that we're going to run for. So 1,680,000 bets sort of kind of represents 1 week's worth of running. So if we could just run this. Let me rerun that, because one of the variables that you've got in here is to whether to run it in debug mode or not. So you can change this. If we set this to false, it's going to run much faster. So 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. It's doing just shy of 500,000 bets per second. And we can see from the stats, it's wagered, it's done 500,000 bets. I'll run it again. And it didn't lose anything, it didn't cost anything. It's wagered 1,000 TRX at no cost. Again, you can play around with this, test this to your nth degree. I expect at some point I'm going to hit a 4 loss streak, and then in this instance I will lose 500 TRX. But you can see just from the funds, just wagering and getting the VIP perks is probably the best way to gamble. Like I say, I'm keen to conclude this video. I'm going to hand this code over to you guys. Remember, if you like this stuff, smash that like button for me, please. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you all again very soon.